This demonstration is going to show you how to use SQL Profiler to sort of track down what CampusVue is sending to your Crystal reports. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to basically bring up a report and show you what CampusVue is actually sending to the report when it calls it. So if we look at reports, I have a test report here under academic records called portal users. Now when this form gets loaded, what it's doing is it actually opens up the Crystal report and it's populating fields on this interface based on information that's set within inside the report. You can see that I have graduation date, which are drop downs for dates here on the interface. These are all being drawn dynamically at runtime. I'm not setting those up in the report. And then when I run the report, you can see that it's passing in graduation dates between a certain range, and those, again, that's the defaults that were selected for me. But again, I'm not setting that up. That's something that Crystal's doing or CampusVue is doing all on its own when it's calling the report. So let's go take a look at the report. So we know we're passing in a graduation date range here. But let's go take a look at the report and see what's inside the report. Open up the portal user report. Okay, now in here you can see that this is calling, there's a special block inside the report called a selection block. This is very important. This is how the report is communicating with CampusVue. So you've got to follow the syntax perfectly, or the report won't render in CampusVue. You'll get all kind of errors on the CampusVue side. So you need to have this selection block in there. And this particular report is calling a store procedure, and it's giving the store procedure name. And you can see also here that it's using a range, a grad date range. And the label is graduation date. Now having the syntax like this is going to cause the CampusVue user interface to dynamically create those fields for you, the start range and the end range. And then it's going to pass that information to your store procedure. But the question is then, well, what is the name of the parameters that it's passing to the store procedures? You know, what is that data that's being sent when the store procedure is being called? Like, what position are they being sent in? Is it the start date and the end date? You know, what's being sent to the store procedure, in what order? Especially if you have a lot of parameters here, you may have 10 or 20 or even more parameters on those user interfaces inside CampusVue, and it's going to pass all those parameters. And you need to know, well, what is the proper sequence of those parameters when the store procedure gets called. And that's what the SQL Profiler will tell you. So let's go over to SQL Server. Okay. Now in SQL Server, there's a tool. If you go under the Tools menu called SQL Profiler. So let's open that up. And we'll connect to our database. And one of the things you got to do when you're opening up SQL Profiler is you're creating traces. You're going to trace the calls that are coming into it, into your SQL Server. And there's various events that you can pick to do that. So one of the things I like to pick here is I like to pick all the SQL stuff. So we'll pick all the store procedure calls. And any SQL calls. get those as well. Okay, and now we'll run this trace.